evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Shelfside Spurs Show. Remember, everyone, tits and teeth. Tits and teeth.
Yeah.
I'm getting an echo. Someone's got their YouTube page open. Nick, is that you? Is that you, Rez?
I think that's me. Bear with me.
Rez. Consummate pro.
There's always
me.
Turn down your radio.
There we go.
That's
Sorted.
better. That's better. That's better.
Yeah.
Take two. Welcome to the Shelfside Spurs.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. On this week's show, we've got going round the panel, Nicky Boy here. You right, Nick?
I'm good.
Fresh from, was it a ton you got last weekend at cricket?
No, two
No,
weeks
2 weeks
ago,
ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, spread the
Oh, good
propaganda, mate. Yeah, got a tonnage. Rez, did you get a ton over the weekend, or
No, probably
No,
just
just
my
this
usual
weekend.
ton of weight.
Yeah. Gaza, the only ton you ever got is when you're bowling, mate, isn't it?
No, it was a bit harsh. A little bit harsh.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it?
I scored a
so-
ton on the golf course.
Yeah, in 2 holes.
Oh, that's hard.
Last time we
Six.
played
Go on,
golf,
give me some credit.
Gaza, you threw your clubs, didn't you? How many holes was it? Which hole was it when you threw your clubs?
6. Threw the
Six-
clubs
six.
and tried
Oh,
to walk off.
Yeah.
6 hole. Never played since.
He's good at darts, though. YouTube viewers, don't mess with him at darts. The Geordie 180. Jens, have you got any unknown sporting skills we don't know about?
I was invited to play with the England volleyball team when I was at Clemendanes.
Sorry,
No.
just I want to clarify this.
I said I'm Danish.
Was
said
this
I'm Danish.
women's? Was this women's beach volleyball? And when you were invited, were you actually invited?
Wasn't that why you got expelled from Woodside? Invited
got
by the
expelled
medium
from
of your
Woodside.
binoculars. Yeah. Oh, your mum's watching, is she? Hello,
My
Mrs.
mum
Sweet,
might be.
yeah. Oh, Nick, your parents were going to tune in, weren't they? Or did you want to send them the link or something? Or was that when I got the day wrong last week? Someone's parents are going to watch, weren't they?
That was rare.
My mum might be watching. Hi, mum.
Hello, Mrs. Rez.
No,
Hello,
Mrs.
Mum.
Prime.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's my sister.
Oh, your sister is there as well. Is
Yeah.
it? Oh, that they put in the comments there. Oh, we got Cody Mack. We were just talking about you backstage, Cody. Nothing disparaging. Don't worry. Mona A, is that your sister? Hello to
That's
all
my
of my
sister,
bro.
yeah.
Ah, yes, Mona A. Do you remember Craig McLaughlin? Mona. Do you want me to do a rendition?
Yes.
Hey,
Yes, indeed.
Mona. Alan's here as well. Hello, Alan.
You all right, Alan?
Hello, Cody. Jens is less drunk
Hi,
this
Cody.
time, Cody. So we're just mentioning you when he was on that show the other day, starting on your
At
beard.
the moment,
He got a bit drunk and feisty, didn't he? So we'll tell him to pipe down for you.
I
yeah.
thought I was perfectly acceptable.
Yes, perfectly civil.
So on behalf of Jens, we'd like to apologise to you, Cody.
Yeah. On behalf of the Shelfside Spurs, all the rest of us would like to apologise to you, Cody. Jens has had a reprimand and he won't do it again. Don't mention people's
For a
beards.
while.
All right. Right. First up, Spurs on this day in history. Who can wait? Are you ready? It's a good one. I say it every week.
Yes,
It's a
go
good. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Go on.
Right. Saturday, the 3rd of September, 1988. Paul Gascoigne is signed from his hometown club, Newcastle United, for 2.2 million.
Lovely.
It was not an easy task to convince the England midfielder to move to London, with Man United also interested in the playmaker. In the twist of fate, he also made his debut against his former club, Newcastle, at St James's Park, with Gascoigne being booed throughout by the home fans. Dirty Geordie bastards.
Classy as ever.
Apologies to Rez's mum for the use of the B word.
No, she's fine.
Despite being
Mate,
2 goals
mate,
down
she
at half
swears
time,
more than I do.
despite being 2 goals down at half time, Spurs managed to salvage a point thanks to goals from Chris Waddle and Terry Fenwick to leave the final score 2-2. Terry Fenwick.
Fenwick was
Wow,
terrible, wasn't it?
He was involved in that Maradona goal in '86, wasn't he? He'd already been booked, hadn't he? So he couldn't take him out. He said he thought about it, but England would have been down to 10 men, obviously, in the first half. So
He was
let
good
him
at
pass him,
QPR. He was good at QPR, and when he came to us, I thought he was highly average.
He's a bit of a hatchet man, wasn't he?
Happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was harmless.
Maybe Kerslake as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've
heard stories about Kerslake.
Leeds.
He played for Blackburn before. I think.
Do we need to put out a disclaimer before you tell your story, Rez, or not?
No. I've said I've heard stories of Kerslake. How
good
dog shit he was.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on. We need like a segue thing across the screen, don't we? We'll have to invest in some technology. So let's get rid of that. As you can see from my dicky ticker, we will start with the Watford game. Did you actually make this one, Rez, or were you stuck in Birmingham again? Yep.
No, I got to it this time. It was great. It was fantastic. First use of my season ticket, which is very exciting. It was great actually because the Watford, when Watford came out to warm up, they were right in front of where I was sat, or a section of them were, and so got to see Musa warming up with his new teammates. Took a couple of photos. It was nice. Saw Danny Rose. So yeah, that was interesting to happen. The game itself was average, I think. Still very early days for Nuno. So yeah, I won't draw too many conclusions apart from the fact that we desperately need a creator in the middle. That's the big thing that I took from that game, where we're a little bit stale in the middle.
I said on Bob's show yesterday, it reminded me of the week before we got Ericsson, when it was just very flat and we were struggling to break down teams, weren't we? And we needed a kind of a magician, like a key unlocker. And
I'm still waiting for the call.
Yeah. I think you threw your load into volleyball if you the double meaning there. We'll go to Jens then for the first starting point. Kane back in the starting 11. What did you make of the decision to put him straight back in, Jens?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit odd, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure that he can play in a 4-3-3. I think he drops deep too often. If you want to play 4-3-3, then you have to have your forward as a forward, not as a playmaker. And I thought it was very unfair on Lucas.
Again, Lucas was the one that left out. I think I've got that as a talking point later. It always seems to be Lucas that misses out, doesn't it?
But that's the thing. That's the thing about him. He's a consummate professional. He doesn't complain about it, we don't see him complain about it. It's not all over Twitter or whatever, and he's not sulking and saying I want to leave. I think he
just does his little video. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
I think we really missed him in the game. I mean, Stevie, for all his endeavour and work rate, he doesn't really got that skill. He always takes the safe option, doesn't he? He tends to pass it and go for 1-2s, whereas Lucas's ability to run at people and dribble past them just opens up space, doesn't it? And I think we really messed him. Well, when he came on, you saw we missed. I mean, him coming on against tired legs on that right hand side, he was ripping him a new one every time when he getting the ball and going at him. Just he started really, really well this season, and we had a feeling, didn't we, last week that he'd be the full guy because he played the full 90, didn't he, in the Europa Conference game on the Thursday? So it didn't look good for him, did it? It must have been pre-agreed, I think, so he must have known, but he still did a job when he came on, didn't he? And he set up the chance for Delhi and the chance for Kane, didn't he, at the back post when the guy just got the toe into it.
Yes, yeah. How you doing, Aaron? How you doing, mate?
Hello, Aaron. Yep. So the next talking point, we're going to you, Nick. Another clean sheet for Darren Sanchez.
Yeah.
I got to leave the ticker from last week. I didn't even need to change it. Another clean sheet for Darren Sanchez.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, apart from that first, the first 5 minutes or so, or the first couple of minutes when, Watford went up the end and Dyer cleared that one that was probably nestling in the bottom corner. I don't think Hugo was getting across to it, but we'll never know. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, they didn't have a lot to do. That we were pretty much camped in their half, most of the game. But again, like I said earlier on our Spurs WhatsApp group, for Nuno to be nominated, he should win Manager of the Month just for getting Dyer nominated for Player of the Month, because anyone that can do that it needs an absolute medal. And I think, Gaz, what did you say? Should win it for the whole year.
Manager of the season.
Manager of the season. So yeah, I think like kind of Rez touched on it. It was pretty stale in patches. It was kind of going back to when teams would come and just sit behind the ball, and we found it difficult to break them down. But yeah, another clean sheet, 1-0 win, top of the table. Arsenal bottom, and what else could you really wish for?
Did you
Christmas?
Happy days.
Sissoko's shot, that was brilliant when he put it in Rose Z. Back to him.
Dyer and Sanchez almost went, "Don't worry, boys, it's Big Mo.
It's Sissoko.
Don't you worry about that."
Can you think of anything that summed his career up more? Like he's playing for the opposite team. He shanks went into Rose Z, and the whole crowd erupts into Musa. He must have felt like a right helmet, I tell you. Oh dear. Quality comment there from Aaron. Gaza,
Like it.
would you like to comment on Aaron's likeness of you there?
I don't know what he looks like.
I always thought he looked like George Clooney.
He looks like you.
His nickname's George Clooney, Aaron. We call him George.
Gorgeous
Clooney.
George.
He used to work behind the bar in the cricket club, and all the ladies used to swoon around him, so I used to call him Clooney behind the bar.
Yeah.
Dear.
Googling it right now.
Rez, Harry Kane watcher. I mean, Jens touched on it briefly.
Maybe.
Did you think his inclusion affected the team, and Lucas Moura again the fall guy?
I think it's going to be a permanent aspect of us until we get that creator in the middle. The reason that he keeps dropping back, and the reason that, as Nick said, he's not suited for a 4-3-3 is because there's a vacuum in the middle of the park where we just can't seem to get the ball moving effectively. So it seems like he feels he's got to drop back in order to generate the service that he's not getting up front. And in terms of his specific inclusion this time round, he seemed a bit rusty. Which, when it comes to Kane, rusty is still pretty sharp. I think he'll grow into the season as he always does. He will be getting the goals and the assists. I really feel that Lucas is hard done by. To be honest, if there was someone that should have been dropped for Kane, my view, it should have been Stevie.
Yeah,
I think Stevie is the one that should be playing in the Conference League in less difficult matches in order to build his confidence.
you know why Stevie was dropped, Rez? Because Nuno knows that if he'd have dropped Stevie, his confidence would have recovered to it. And as we've already touched on,
Yeah, there is that. Yeah,
more as a consummate pro, will just get back on with it. And as we saw in the second half, just came back on like nothing had happened, and kind of used to it, isn't he?
so much credit
More
to him for doing that.
Go on, Gaz.
Lucas Moura is that kind of guy who's the nice bloke who will take any bad news on board and just deal with it. It's the easy option, isn't it?
We need to get a song. Yeah. We need to get a fucking song for that guy, don't we?
It's true. It's true.
Like the other day, like he did something really good, and like the crowd was looking. We were looking around like, I wish we had a bloody song for him.
We could always tweak the one for Bobby Zamora, couldn't we? But when you sit in Rose Ed and the ball hits your head, that's Zamora.
We could tweak it to be a positive.
Tweak it a little bit.
Yeah. If only we had a songwriter amongst the panel. Anyone want to give it a go?
Rez.
All right, I'll give it a try. Not that I expect any kind of success, but all right then.
Can anyone watching think of any words that we can amend the Bobby Zamora tune to fit Lucas Moura in, the more positive one than the ball hitting Rose Ed?
Something that references Ajax might be nice.
How about Oh Moura? Whoa.
We want more. I don't know.
Yeah,
I told you I'm not
Rose
a songwriter.
as Aaron said, Zamora's got copyright on the Rosette.
Certainly
When the ball hits your head and you're sat in Rosette, that's Zamora. Next talking point. Gaz, as you went there, I'll give this one to Nick, Danny Rose, and Sissoko's lap of honour.
I'm glad you put you mean laps of honour. I mean,
laps. That's why I put it in brackets. Sissoko was going to go around again when he got around, and he's like, wasn't he still there? My sister and Showbiz was like, is he going to go for another fucking lap? Is he going for a second lap?
Wasn't he still there when the fire broke out the other day?
It worked up.
Maybe he started it
round. So quickly. That's what set the fire off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great reception for both of them. Sissoko was milking it, but but yeah, it was nice. I think even to a point, I think Sonny went up to him and was just like, "Come on, mate, you're taking the mick a little bit now. You need to get off." But yeah,
they might want you back.
Yeah, so it was nice. Seeing. And for Danny Rose, he didn't come on. He came, to the all four parts of the ground and was clapping, and the fans were applauding him and everything else. So yeah, it was good from the fans. I think it was, in terms of atmosphere and stuff for that. I think again we went through that quiet period, but it was loud. It was, it was good, and especially for any Spurs players coming back, they got the reception that they deserved. So, it was good.
Gaz, Rose, when Danny Rose came back at the end and the South Stand were just singing his song, he went like that. He was like going like that. So it was really good. It was really good to see. He gave us a little
that was the one thing I was gutted about missing out, to be fair. Seeing Danny Rose come back. But
during the match as well, when he was warming up on the touchline, the northern bits of the West Stand were singing the Danny Rose song during the match as well.
I had some helmet near me, Reg, going, "What are you fucking singing his song for? That fucking mug." Yeah. I was like, "Oh, piss off." That's yeah. It was like Jens. Jens wasn't it? I was my 6-year-old nephew.
I thought Jens was in Holland.
No.
Did anyone see Sissoko's welcome video to Watford? He just spent the whole time talking about us. He's like, "I've left my friends. I've left the great club. I had great times there." I was waiting for him to go on to Watford. He didn't say anything like, "I'm pleased to have joined Watford." Oh, it's a good club I've joined. He's like, "It will take some time to settle after leaving the club." I was like, he's going on and on and on and on. And Watford's official account tweeted it out. So I was like thinking, what must their fans think?
You can imagine the interviewer at the end going, "Yeah, welcome to Vicarage Road."
What? It was really
I saw
bad.
the one where he was supposed to be texting Danny Rose about finding the training ground and stuff.
I haven't seen that one.
That was doing the rounds.
They should have done a Bale Region type parody of what we did last season. Where you're talking to Region, then he speaks, and Danny Rose is being interviewed, and he's called Sissoko. That would have been funny.
Yeah,
that would have been clever.
You should be running the socials for Watford.
Yeah, good. Get on it, mate.
Yeah. Speaking of the Watford fans, Nick, you had a little moan about that, didn't you? You were sat next to them, and all the way home, you were having a little pipe up about their fans. What were they up to? What did they do to piss you off so much?
They were just embarrassing. Cheering when they got a corner, having a go at us because we were sat down and they were stood up. Yeah. And it was just a little bit. It was a bit like when Norwich came for that FA Cup game that we lost on penalties, and it was just like, know your place. Don't come here and start giving it the big one. And they were just, I just thought, it was just embarrassing, really. Right. They came. They pretty much parked the bus and didn't look like they were. It was just like, well, you're going to be here for a season and then you're going to go back down. So I don't really understand what they were, it just really wound me up, if I'm honest.
Gaz, do you remember that time we were watching there's a Watford game in our local pub, and it's pretty much our local team. So there's a load of them watching it. And me and Gaz were stood at the bar, and literally one of their players crossed the ball in, and all their fans went, "Ooh!" Like,
oh yeah.
They're like, what? He just crossed the ball in. It's like it wasn't a chance or anything. And they're like, genuinely go, "Ooh!" Just because they put a cross into the box. It's like, you mugs.
Wasn't that the FA Cup game when
Jerry
tell that
story, Gaz. Yeah.
He just attacked us because Watford lost, saying that you lot are taking liberties and you shouldn't have lost. And we were just like, well, we 1-0, we won.
He scored the goal from long range. It was like he passed it into the net, didn't he, from long range? Was it Ericsson?
Was it Lamella?
Lamella, it was, yeah. It was an FA Cup game, and we were crap. And they were playing out their skin, weren't they? And just to pretty much take it to a replay, and then Lamella scored.
Yeah.
One of his stand over.
It was a league game. It was a league game
where we beat 6-4 in the FA Cup.
Wasn't that Reading?
That game, yeah.
We always beat them
under our dealers.
Yeah. We beat Reading 6-4 as well. I was at that one.
Yeah.
The Reading game, yeah.
We used to say that every time Watford used to go on a little run in the cup, they'd get through the first round, next round, and then we'd come around and smack them back down to the side. And every time, like, get back down, get out. Every time we'd knock them out, going way back to 86 onwards. Every time they get a bit cocky.
I think it's since
Gary Plumley.
Yeah.
I think it's Gary Plumley, the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Wasn't he a scout's?
That was 87, wasn't it?
Or so.
87.
Yeah, it was 87.
87, yeah.
You know, that club has been going downhill since Elton John left.
Well, he's still there.
Oh, is he really?
He's still involved. He's not the chairman anymore, but he's still involved.
He's still standing. Boom.
Oh.
That's why they call it the Blues. Yeah.
He still has a little concert every year, doesn't he, to fundraise and the local.
It's a real sacrifice for him to go to Watford.
Oh my god!
Well, they're all going along like a candle in the wind.
Get out!
It started so well.
Is that the time? I must be off taxi.
All right, let's draw
Don't
a line.
Don't worry about your coat. We've already thrown it out into the street.
Right, but I was going to come out of a corker here, so moving swiftly on. Daniel, let's see what I'm doing here. Is traveling slowly on a plane or something. Daniel Levy. Daniel, yeah. That was one of his famous songs, by the way, guys. When you have to explain a joke, it doesn't really work, does it? So, who started the fire at White Hart Lane yesterday, and why? I want your best conspiracy theory. Right, let's start with you, Nick. What's your best conspiracy theory? Who started the fire yesterday, and why?
I think it was Ndombele, just because Aurier's gone, Sissoko's gone, and he had nothing to do, so he just got bored and just thought he'd start a fire.
Pretty sick of his nutritionalist putting him on a diet. So
yeah. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fry. Yeah.
Trying to cook up some fried chicken.
Well, funnily enough, the fire started in one of the kitchens.
They did.
Did it?
Yeah.
I think Levy wanted a chip sandwich. Yeah, Parachichi left this oven of his on. That's what he says. He's been cooking the whole transfer window, and he's got to turn it off. Well, when you put nothing in the oven, it just burns the oven, doesn't it? Didn't come through with a lot of his deals. Rez, what's your best conspiracy theory?
I actually think Nick is onto a winner. I think it was Ndombele, who basically what has been happening is that the reason he's so upset that Serge and Musa have gone is not because he was their friend, right? It's because they were his carers, right? And they were the ones that were, wiping for him, cooking for him.
Making sure he turned his oven off.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't actually know what he was doing, and he probably put the microwave meal into the oven in its box, and it caught fire, and 300 people had to be evacuated. That's what I think it is.
Did it do any damage, do we know, to the stadium?
I don't
know. No, they put it out pretty quick, I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Yeah. Brian Daigle. Where was he? Yeah, I think Brian should have to explain his whereabouts when that fire started, for sure. If they were drawing up a list of possible culprits, I Brian would be.
You got to check the flights to Canada. Check the flights to Canada.
Flight records. That flight record flying around the air with Fonseca on Brian's. Levy looking to cash in on the insurance money.
That was my theory.
Allegedly.
To pay for the summer transfers.
We were trying. Gaz? Can you remember the name
scam.
of the business, the timber merchants that burnt down? We were trying to think of it the other day, weren't we, Nick? We couldn't think of the name.
Wasn't it?
Archway.
Archway.
That's it. Archway. Yeah.
Steel. It was a steel place. Steel factory.
Okay.
Archway
They
Steel.
make ranges for kebab shops.
That's it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Don't tell me I'm going to do a quiz on that next week.
The only reason I know is because I live in Archway, so it's it always.
Yeah.
Always rings a bell.
Confirmed it as well. Yeah, we couldn't think of it. We thought it was like the Uber brothers or some weird shit like that. Didn't we? Gazza, who started the fire at White Hart Lane yesterday and why?
No, I've already said it. It's an insurance scam from Levy to pay for summer transfers. That's what I said in the group yesterday.
Yeah.
Jens?
Well, carrying on from the music thing, but he has denied it. It was Billy Joel.
Billy Joel?
Yeah, and his friends, because he does say we didn't start the fire. We really are showing our age now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I reckon it's just it was one of those YTS blokes that they employ to pour the beer on match days. Probably got a chance to work in the kitchen and popped out for a quick spliff and forgot that the range was on. So,
Where's your life, mate? Where's your blue Tory rosette? Jesus wept.
Somebody said maybe it was a parting gift from Serge Aurier.
Yeah.
Last.
I would have thought he would have shat on Levy's desk though.
I don't know. No, apparently he was quite. His departure wasn't acrimonious. Allegedly, he was. It was sort of like, okay, let's all do, because he did apparently he got some advantage from it because he'll get a massive signing on fee and stuff like that when he does sign.
Decent wages as well.
Yeah, which brings me nicely on to the next talking point. Do you think the little scumbag would have the audacity to sign for the Gooners? Nick?
Agent Aurier.
Yeah, Agent Aurier. Can you imagine? Fucking hell. I'm not actually too bothered. It'd be a bonus to us, wouldn't it, if he played for them? The amount of points it'd cost them over the season.
I mean, if you think about it in a benefit to us, him on that right-hand side with Sonny or Stevie bombing it along against him, I think that would be absolutely a miracle. Miracle signing. It'd be brilliant for us. Because everything at the moment is that they do or turns into shit anyway. So there's no point adding a little bit more to the pile, is there? So
they have just signed Tommy Arsu, haven't they? So they probably don't need it. Don't need him. But
did you hear that thing from on? I think it was Sky Sports that a bloke said that I'd spoken to his agent, and he said he's not really a right back, and he's not really a central defender.
Centre back either.
Yeah.
And they said, "What actually is he?" And they went,
"Who needs enemies when you got friends like this?"
Yeah. Well, you know what?
He was offered to everyone in the Premier League, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
They'll be happy though because he'll sell plenty of shirts in Japan. And, that's all he really cares
but you know what? I have to say, with Aurier, if he does sign for the Gooners, I'd actually be quite happy because it would be a case of they've now become the club that sign our rejects.
Yeah.
Oh no! Apparently, we were after him for the whole summer, and they
no, not Tommy Aston. I'm talking about Aurier. I'm talking about Aurier. He can't get a game with us, but Arsenal will take him.
Yeah.
Cody makes a good point. They are both Arsenal fans, aren't they?
Is Aurier an Arsenal fan? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew Doherty was
an Arsenal kit and stuff.
Yeah. I thought Aurier was PSG or something. He's like, I know Lens, is it, in France? Who he played for?
That's what he played for. But you'd think after he made such a hoo-ha about him not signing for Lille because he was a Lens guy that he wouldn't sign for Arsenal because he played for Tottenham. But
I think it's all just press for so people will remember his name and maybe someone will think, oh, hang on a minute, we need a right back. So it's just trying to keep relevant and trying to keep in the news, I reckon.
Yeah.
Who's the guy they've got at right back other than Tommy? Is it Chambers? Is it Callum Chambers that plays on the right? Oh, God.
He also plays in the centre, doesn't he? So,
so the only out and out right back that you could sort of say is a right back if he signs for them will be Aurier, because Tomiyasu, no one knows what he does.
exactly.
Alan makes a good point. I was thinking about this yesterday. If he is a bad influence, Aurier and Sissoko on Ndombele, it's not going to go away, is it? Because they're still going to be hanging out together. Because if they go to localish clubs, like obviously Sissoko's still at Watford, so they're still going to be hanging around, socialising with him, and sort of a bad influence on him extraterrestrially, so to speak, away from the football side of things, aren't they? So I don't. It's not the most best solution for us if we are trying to sort of get him away from those guys.
Although they won't be around in training, that
No.
that would be key, because if that's essentially where the work really will be done. And Nuno. This is the thing about Nuno. We know this about him. He does not take shit, allegedly. It's his way or the highway. So, and Ndombele's in for a tough time of it if he doesn't pull his finger out, because now that he's staying for at least another 3 or 4 months, Nuno's going to be right. Pull your finger out, get to work, because you're not going to enjoy yourself otherwise. That's what I'm hoping, anyway.
Yeah. Will he give a shit though if he's on 200 grand a week?
Yeah.
Probably quite happy to just.
That's the question.
Probably happy to play keep ups with the kids, and he's play a bit of head tennis here and there.
Maybe,
I think he seems to be under the impression that he's just going to get a big move, isn't he, at the end of all this? But other clubs are going to be looking at his attitude and his commitment. It doesn't bode well for him.
If he doesn't play for another 3 years, who's going to sign him?
Yeah, exactly. As Aaron says, Doherty had a good game apparently at left wing back. He did. He played really well apparently. All the Irish fans were raving about how well he'd played. On Talk Sport the next day, they all said how good he was. But he played once there for us, didn't he? I remember him playing left wing back in the Premiership game. Yeah.
Reguilon wasn't available. I think he was suspended or something.
He did it right, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Maybe he's been using the wrong foot all this time.
So, do you reckon he's going to sign for the Goons? Let's go for a quick yes and no round the panel. Nick,
I'd like him to, but I can't see it.
Yes or no?
No.
Rez?
Nah, media smokescreen, mate.
Gaz?
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Jens?
Nah.
Nah. Okay. I think I don't know because of the hoo-ha he made the other day about not signing for Lens. I think we might be all right. He'd
yes or no, LJ?
Depends what other offers he get.
Yes or no, LJ?
I think
Come on, LJ. Yes or no?
Yeah, what about you? Go on.
So because he put that little winky face the other day, I didn't see you guys soon. I was like, yeah, you dirty little rat.
September the 26th.
But then again, Levy wouldn't have released him for free if he went there. Surely you'd have put like a thing in his, release contract saying you can't sign for Arsenal or any rival clubs or any Premiership clubs for a year or 6 months or whatever. Levy's not stupid, is he?
Doesn't stop him training with them, and then he can sign in January.
Yeah. Speaking of Levy, we'll give this one to you, Rez, because you were the one that told me about it. So the ITK on the chat rooms that you belong to is that Levy stuck his oar in to stop the Adama Traore deal at the 11th hour against the wishes of Nuno and Paratici. Is this going to be the first crack in the relationship between all three of them, really?
One of the ITKs who reported it basically said that if Levy does it again, Paratici is going to walk. And I wouldn't blame him for doing that. All right. Because it's not a case of, and this is the thing that's been sort of aggravating a lot of people, is people don't seem to get that it's not the fact that he blocked a deal for Traore. That's not the issue. It's the fact that he blocked a deal for a player and used his judgment of what a good player is to justify it. He turned around essentially what we're hearing, and again, I can't say for certain. We don't know. This is still secondhand information, but what we've been told is that he turned around and said that Lucas Moura and Steve Bergwijn are good enough or are better, and therefore we don't need Traore. Whether or not he's right or wrong is neither here nor there. It's not his job to judge how good a player is and to use it to make footballing decisions. He's there to provide the money. Okay? Him being involved in the Kane transfer, for instance, is again, Alan, this is the thing. It's not the fact that he interfered with buying Traore for 50 million. It's the fact that he stuck his oar in over the people that he has hired to make footballing decisions. Right? You don't hire Fabio Paratici in order to overrule his footballing decisions. Okay? That's like one of us doing that. Okay? Saying that we know better than Paratici. Or sorry, Paratici, as it's supposed to be pronounced. Okay? We don't. He's made a decision in concert with Nuno and with Steve Hitchin, and the three of them agreed that they wanted Traore. As far as that's it. That's done. If it's a mistake, they're the ones that carry the can. That's the trade-off. When you're given autonomy to make those decisions, you're the one who is held accountable if it goes wrong. You know? This is the beginning of the relationship. It is the worst thing. A micromanager is the worst manager, and that is exactly what he's doing. He's micromanaging again when he's not supposed to, and breaching trust this early in the relationship. If it continues, I can see Paratici walking, and I wouldn't blame him.
He seemed in good spirits on that interview yesterday, and he seemed in good spirits. Cody says Paratici has his hands on the wheel, but Levy still has his feet on the gas and the brakes.
Exactly.
Paratici will walk. It is written. Yeah.
I'll say this to any fan that basically tries to justify what Levy did. Let's say, for instance, we had the option, as a hypothetical, we could have got Ronaldo for 20 million, right? And Levy turns around and says, no, Lucas is better. I'm not going to spend 20 million. How sanguine would you be then that we didn't get the target?
That's
bit of a difference. No, the principle's the same.
Yeah, no, the principle's the same. But Ronaldo, you would get millions and millions and millions of shirt sales, and
he might act differently. No, that's not the point. He might act differently. He might justify saying, "Well, yeah, we'll get money for things." But I'm saying if the name was different, just say that the name of the player was different, and insert Ronaldo in there instead of Traore, and Levy acted exactly the same way. How happy would we be then that we didn't get the target? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
Bit of housekeeping before we move on there. Jens, do you want to answer that one?
It's actually Rodney, but most people call me Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
That's my rant, by the way. That's the weekly rant.
The weekly rant, yeah. I need to put together your rant last week against Pep Guardiola. See if we can hook in some.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I reckon we'll get loads of. All you need to do is put a tag in South Korean.
Yeah.
And then put a picture of Sonny, and we'll get thousands of hits. Did you see what Tommy did? When Sonny scored. Yeah.
He copied and pasted some Korean tags, didn't he? And it blew up.
No, it is actually Aaron. It's actually Jens. But as I said, everyone calls me Rodney or Dave.
His Twitter handles Ricky
Glider.
And Glider. We actually call him the Glider. Do you want to tell that story?
I don't remember.
Yeah, you don't remember. Gaz, you might remember.
It was just before kickoff, him gliding down the road because he'd been thrown out the ground for being going the wrong way after a fair few beers.
I was actually on pharmaceuticals at that time for a blood clot on my knee, and it wasn't a good idea to be drinking as much as I had. So
over the counter ones, we should clarify.
Jens,
no, I got him in the hospital.
Another incident of that, eh? Who would have thought? Jens and alcohol. It doesn't end well, does it?
Even checking the wife's list. I just remember his face. He didn't even recognise us. He was that fucked. He didn't even recognise us. You were like looking at us, trying to stumble us down his feet. Like that's why he couldn't glide.
I have no clue how they let me in, and then Yeah, I got chucked out, didn't I? I lost my membership and everything.
They take your membership as well.
Yeah,
they took.
But I went back to them and I said, "Look, I've never been in trouble before. Well, I've never been caught. I mean, I've never been in trouble before. So can I have my membership back?" And a very nice lady said, "Yeah, no problem. Go collect it before the next home game." And I walked in and I said, "I've come to collect my membership," and everyone in that place just turned and looked. Because that's apparently where you go to collect it if you've been in trouble. I was like, yeah,
superb.
Oh dear. Well, Jens, call me a mank.
Well, if you look at that picture, or the Aaron's got there, he looks a bit.
It does look a bit
for it.
A little bit, yeah.
Mad for it.
Mad for it.
Yeah.
Well, the Gallaghers were from Ireland, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah, I think their dad's Irish, and I think their mum Peggy's Irish as well.
Well,
Actually, the mum and the dad are Irish.
Duv, is that how it's pronounced? The BH, that means black in Gaelic, doesn't it?
Duff, isn't it? Isn't it Duff?
Duff. I don't know. I've never think, but I know that spelling means black in Gaelic. I don't know how it's pronounced, so apologies for that one.
Dave.
Dave.
Is that basically the word you use for any word that you can't pronounce?
Of course.
Dave, yeah.
Everyone knows Dave.
And Robbie.
Yeah, I went to the doctor. He told me I've got Dave.
There you go.
Yeah, but you don't fucking tell everyone about it, Riz. Jesus.
That's why they get on so well with you too, isn't it, Aaron? Big mates, big drinking mates. Noel and Bono. Yeah, they're like, I guess you'd call him first generation, wouldn't you? Irish, because his mum and dad, Noel and Liam's mum and dad were Irish, so they're like first generation or second generation. Yeah. So Noel Gallagher says he feels more Irish than English.
To be fair, though, so does Morrissey. So
does he? Oh yeah, and Morrissey's related to Robbie Keane, isn't he? And you heard that story? Yeah. His mum told him like years later. He said he basically said to his mum, I think, "Oh, I bumped into Morrissey," or something, and she goes, "Oh, you do realise you're related? He's your like first cousin." She's like, "Why have you haven't told me this like for years?"
Yeah, I could have got free tickets to his concerts to throw away.
Yeah.
Throw away.
Yeah, he's a bit political these days.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's a bit right wing.
Yeah.
Right wing?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I'd have him down as a left winger.
He's gone just U-turn.
Or maybe going through the centre, like Mora.
Yeah, we'll call him Lucas Moura. Yeah, you raise a good point. He nicks them all. Nicks a potato.
You don't think you'd get a socio-economic history lesson when you tune in?
No, when you watch this nonsense, do you?
I never nick nothing.
No. Back to the football. Paratici, and what did we make of the interview? Have we all seen the Paratici interview? I touched on it briefly.
No, but I've kind of got a general gist of it.
Moving swiftly on then. None of us have seen it. I have watched it a couple of times. He's just basically updating us on what the vision is, like buying young, promising players. And he does mention that we're the aim of everyone is to win trophies. And he said basically, which is quite nice, how his job is to make everyone feel inclusive and welcome in the football club and pulling in the same direction. And he wanted to thank us as fans and the club and everyone that's helped him settle, and they've all made him feel part of the club so far. And it was quite a good interview, so it's worth watching it if you do get a moment.
One thing I would say, I'm not surprised by that kind of adapting that kind of point of view. Like,
Rez,
you all right, Rez?
He's
choking. He's just watched the interview.
He's choking up. Paratici, choking up.
Levy's death grip.
Right,
Nick's
as well.
Oh, hello.
Nick's off to sort him out.
Who's next? Yeah, it's like Murder in the Dark, isn't it? Who's next? Live, interactive Murder in the Dark.
I was going to go get another beer, so it'd probably be me next.
Who's done it?
No, what I was going to say, I think on the back of it, we've reduced the average age of the squad by about 6 or 7 years, and also we've saved £40 million a year on wages alone.
I saw that. Yeah, it's good.
So, I mean, it may not be the direction we need to be going, but maybe that's part of the rebuild and builds forward. Have a couple of crappy years and then come back stronger. I don't know. I said, I haven't seen the actual interview with Paratici, but it doesn't surprise me we've gone down a route, but also maybe there is some benefit from it.
I was surprised to see him there on the Watford game because all the ITK said he was in Barcelona, but he was actually there. Some more videos of him jumping up and down and shouting at the referee and stuff.
Well, I don't know if you may have discussed this on last week's show or the previous shows, but
you telling me you haven't watched it, Gaza?
I'm sorry, I've just been busy. He's part of the players' bubble, so they have to be there on the bench with the players because they're all around each other at the club during the COVID times.
Hey, man.
I'm all right. It's okay. I can handle it.
That is quite funny, actually. Yeah, on the Paratici interview, there's just a lot of people running around and in the background, and he finally gets a needle, and then it cuts back, and he's like dead silence. So he's obviously dug someone out completely. Like, shut up. What's shut up in Italian? Hey, shut up.
Fabio, camera
down now in the back of the round.
Shut up in your mouth.
It's not what's the name? Out of Fireman Sam, LJ. Or Sam.
I think that was promotion, wasn't it? Next point. Boom. Harry Kane's statement. What did you take it to mean? He gave an interview to the BBC earlier this week in the lead up to the Hungary game. Do you want me to read it out to you, boys? Can you remember it, or do you want me to read it?
A refresher.
Right, let's read it up. Here we go.
For the viewers, of course.
For the viewers, I've said before. This is in context to Kane having a Spurs contract until 2024 and is now staying. I've said before, fans are entitled to their opinion, he said. Obviously, sometimes they don't get the full story of what's going on. But from my point of view, I've got a clear conscience and I've just got to keep doing what I do. I'm doing everything that I'm being asked for and asked to do by the club, and I'm here now with England. I know everyone wants to know about every situation that happens over the summer, but like I said, I'm focused on what's to come and the future. He later said he never refused to train and has since made his return to Nuno Espirito's side, scoring twice in the Europa playoff leg. After a summer of heavy speculation around his club future, Kane says he accepts that there's going to be a bit of noise around certain situations involving himself as a high-level sportsman. I think the best players and the players who handle that the best are the ones who manage to have great careers, added Kane. I know there's a lot of talk going on and there's a lot of questions being asked, but I stay focused on what I need to do. Obviously, everything that went on with the club is between me and the club, and that's the way it will stay. He did make a statement about wanting to win trophies with Tottenham as well, but Sky didn't actually report that. I'm trying to find that part of it. Yeah, he said, yeah, exactly. They deliberately omitted that part. He said he's looking forward to trying to win trophies with Tottenham again. Let's go around the panel. Nick, what did you make of his statement, the context of it, and anything you can pick out of the comments?
I just think it was just another. It was kind of, I don't know, really. I don't think he really needed to come out and say anything. I think it was just trying to have another little. What are you laughing at?
Look on the screen.
Cody's comment.
What's your name? Sal, isn't it? Is it Sal or no?
Oh dear.
Breaking Bad and Daniel Day-Lewis.
What about
don't forget Stelios.
Yeah, Stelios.
I'm doing checklist from now on.
I've not seen The Shield, so I don't know what that is.
You haven't seen The Shield, you should watch it. Brilliant series.
What's it on?
Sorry?
What's it on?
It's about a policeman. I can't remember which city it's in. I think it's...
what channel?
Oh, no, it's an old one. I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah. You might find it somewhere on Netflix or one of the streaming services, though. Maybe Amazon Prime.
Can we just... Who looks like the guy from The Shield? Who's in The Shield?
A guy called Michael Chiklis.
Who does he look like?
He looks a bit like... he's a bit like a fatter Jens, basically.
Thanks for that, Rez. I was glad you said that.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean,
I'm glad you said it. That he's fatter than I am.
Yeah, definitely. No. I mean, he's one of those that you know, like, and I'm speaking from experience. You know, fat blokes who try to sort of like hold it in and try and sort of like think. Chiclet's a bit like that.
Chiclet, is that his name? And
no,
a new nickname. Oh,
Chicklets. Michael Chickless is the
Chickless, and a
That's
new name.
another name now. Is it Michael?
Yeah, Michael's
James
the
Lofty.
Chickless. Chickless the dickless.
We'll call you Nicky V.
I'll tell you what, that's not a bad shout. I've just Googled it. It's not a bad shout.
Chickless himself.
Yeah. That's it. No, from now on, we'll call Jens Mickey Villa. Mickey Michael.
Yeah,
Mickey
good
Villa.
Right. Compose yourselves, guys. Compose yourselves. Harry Kane's statement. Nick, you were talking before we rudely interrupted you with lookalikes.
That's fine with the thing. It's absolutely fine. I got left out of it, so we're good.
I'm easy, Jet.
Skinnier Stelios. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was a bit strange. I thought that there wasn't. Strange. That was a good time to say strange, wasn't it? I thought it was a bit strange.
He's got the cough now.
I don't. It's catching COVID cough.
Get COVID through the internet.
I don't really understand. I just don't think there was any need for it, really. I think it was just kind of hash it up. Obviously, he just wanted to kind of have another dig and say, look, guys, this has happened and this. It's all right, Cody. It's fine. I just think it was just a little bit unnecessary. There wasn't really a need for it, and I just think it was, just stuff on that didn't need to be talked about. We all know
it's just his press duties, isn't it, Nick? It's just his press duties for England game, wasn't it? He has been avoiding the press. I mean, he couldn't really avoid it as the England captain ahead of this game, could he? So they were going up to ask him questions and stuff. So he actually thought the need to get in there and make a statement and quieten a few people down.
He didn't really make a statement on the pitch last night, so I guess.
Well, look at it this way, Nick. He's saving up the chances to us. We don't want to wasting all his chances on England game, do we? So the 4 chances he could have done better with. We'll save them up for Palace game, hopefully. And he never. Well, September now, isn't it? He never performed in August, doesn't he? Yeah. As the story goes. So he's ready to roll again now. Ready to roll. Walter, what did you make of Harry Kane's statement?
I'm the one who knocks. Okay, yeah. I agree with Nick in terms of whether or not it was necessary. I think he should have gone down the anodyne route with any questions that were asked about his Tottenham future, which he's done in the past, and certainly not turned around and said, I've got no regrets, because that sends a very bad message. Because it might have been wrong for him to have been lambasted. Maybe he's been completely innocent. But someone who's completely innocent doesn't turn around and protest their innocence in those things when there's no one actually directly gunning for him, I am ultimately what Kane has managed to do for me, and I can't speak for every Spurs fan, but certainly for myself, is that the regard that I held him in is, if not gone, very much reduced. For me right now, as I've said on the show before, for me, Sonny is Mr. Tottenham now, right? Not Harry Kane. And
I think you're being very harsh. If we discussed last week, if we think, if reading between the lines, if we think what happened was Levy said to him, "You can go if we get an acceptable offer." They didn't get an acceptable offer. In Harry's head, he's done nothing wrong. He never said he wanted to leave. In that Gary Neville interview, he said maybe the club will get an offer that they want to accept for me and move me on because I'm 28. They're not going to get any more money from me. So he hasn't. If that is how it played out, he hasn't done a lot wrong, which which the comments he'd made away on England duty would kind of tie up with that, wouldn't it?
The thing is,
training.
He's still been agitating to an extent. There's a difference between going to Levy and saying, look, I want to leave because I want, for whatever reason, I want, more money, or I want to win trophies, or I like the color sky blue, I enjoy working for slavers, whatever. If he said that to Levy and Levy had said to him, okay, fine, if we get an acceptable offer, you can go, and that had been it, then I would not be lambasting him. But the fact is, he did an interview in which his future was directly addressed. He agitated. He didn't return to training on time. Now, whether that's for bad advice or not, he still did those things. So for me, that demonstrates someone who is not acting well and turning around and saying, my priority has always been to win trophies with Spurs. It's like, oh, okay, so if you win trophies with us, but if we're not winning trophies, you act like this. If you're loyal, demonstrate your loyalty properly. Don't put the club in a difficult situation, and certainly don't make the fans go through months of uncertainty over what contribute to the feelings of uncertainty that the fans are going through, especially if you purport to love them so much. This statement was unnecessary. And it's basically him doing what he did before, saying, I've done nothing wrong. Yes, you have, Harry. I'm sorry. You have done something wrong. Own it.
I guess he's saying I did nothing wrong. That's what footballers do, but he's kind of held himself above that level, but everything he's done previously in his career, he doesn't act like the typical arsehole. Yeah. I think that what that meant, Jens, is that Levy said I could go if the deal came in, and the deal didn't come in, so he was happy to stay. But
I suppose. Listen, it's very difficult. I mean, I can see both sides of an argument on this one. It's
well said.
It's just unfortunate. It's tragic. It really is. It's tragic for us. It's tragic for him. It's tragic for the club. It's just terrible. And I hold Man City responsible. I really do.
Yeah, and then letting him down at the last by not putting in a bid, trying to tell us what they're going to pay us. I mean, you don't negotiate with Levy. They'll be on the naughty step now, won't they? With Chelsea, they'll be banned. We won't do any deals with them anymore. I think they'll be out after everything they've done. They'll definitely.
You're absolutely right, Cody. Cody's got it.
Cody's kind of took words out of my mouth. Yeah,
bang on.
Yeah. Absolutely spot on the money. Know your dance partner. Perfect.
But also, there's a couple of points there. One, Man City bought Grealish, so I think that probably in Daniel Levy's mind thought, well, I can actually put a few hundred. Like instead of 100 mil or 120, I can put another few tens on that. But also, City did not cough up the money, and Kane's previous contract had no release clause.
Gary Neville said in the interview, didn't he? You want to start with a 2, not a 1.
Yeah. So all the cards are in Daniel Levy's favour.
Yeah.
And exactly as what Cody said. Choose your dance part.
And it's actually in this particular instance, this is to Levy's credit, the way that he acted this summer. We can all criticise him for some of his other thing, but on this one, he played it perftly.
Yeah.
Don't get Brian started on that. He just said, Levy basically just turned his mobile phone off and wouldn't answer it to the.
Yeah, I'm not going to be invited onto Brian's show now, and I would like to have been able to rant with him about Levy.
Good, yeah, a rant off, yeah.
Rant off.
Actually, isn't that tonight? Friday night.
Yeah,
it should be on later.
2 o'clock in the morning or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Might tune in again.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on. How are we going to summarise the Kane statement? I didn't see a lot in it. I just thought it was the usual England captain statement ahead of a game. Didn't take it to heart. Didn't take too much into it. Cody said,
I think there's.
Yeah,
I get the impression there's a bit of a breakdown in relationship between the club and him, in terms of something. There's clearly something going on in the background, but nobody wants to actually say what it is. which is, well, if there really is something going on and you feel that hard done by, just come out and say it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, or put in a transfer request.
Alistair Gold said, I was listening to, I think he was on Fighting Cock, and he said that he understands there's a new contract coming for Kane now, so that should well and truly put it to bed, shouldn't it? But obviously not from Sky Sports point of view.
Well, Ali Gold's he said today on his video that he feels, Ali Gold does, that that's it. You know, he's Kane's missed his chance now, so his feeling is that Kane will be staying with us now for the rest of his career. That's his
that's why I see it.
If he has a good season, he'll be 10 goals ish away from Jimmy Greaves' record then, won't he? So
he's only 44 behind at the moment.
Yeah, if things go well, if we're in the Champions League again and maybe a little trophy, then he's got no reason to leave, has he?
No.
And
it's not a bad thing for us fans either.
No, sometimes a little shake up makes you realise how much you appreciate and love the player, doesn't it? Really. So I expected him to leave a couple of seasons ago. So we've had a couple of bonus seasons out of him.
I can see why. I can see why he wants to leave. I mean, given what Levy done. Sorry, Gaz, I spoke over you. Go ahead.
That's right. That's right.
I
was just going to say, he gets a hat trick against the Goons, everything will be forgotten.
Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Next talking point. Let's start with you, Gaz. Romero and Lo Celso, should they have gone away on Argentinian duty with the being on the red list and the return implications, or didn't they have a choice? You know, FIFA involved, and they're not really got much of a leg to stand on by refusing to go, have they? What do you make of it?
I don't think they had much of a choice, to be fair. It's an honour to represent your country. They're going through, I think they're playing catch up, aren't they, on games that they missed because South America did get hit quite hard with restrictions, etc. So I don't know. It's the world we're living in at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't think many players are going to have a huge choice in, if they refuse.
Did Messi go?
I'm not too sure.
Have a look. When did they play?
They played this morning.
This morning, did they? So have a look at the lineup.
So Butchers.
They played Venezuela. They won 3-1. Lautaro Martinez scored. Players, let's have a look.
Yeah, Messi did play. Lo Celso got an assist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I saw that. He did get subbed off again after about 60 minutes, didn't he? He can't even get a full game for them. Yeah.
I can see the club's point of view. They're protecting their assets. They're the one who pay the weekly wage, etc., etc. But it goes to, even if you had no COVID, if a player gets injured on international duty, the club's still the ones who are having to pay the weekly wage and go through all the, them getting them back up to fitness again. But
good intel from Cody there. Romero had a one-match ban to go. If he didn't go, he wouldn't have got cleared that one.
Yeah.
They're not on the red list though, are they, Aaron? So I think he'll be able to come back and not have to quarantine as long as the other guys. Yeah, it was a friendly one. Like I think Alan, as Cody said, he had a game to get rid of for his ban, so he was available for the World Cup qualifiers. Sounds like that, Alan.
Yeah.
No, I think it wasn't a World Cup qualifiers, wasn't it?
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it was.
It's a tricky situation for the
players.
Well,
no, sorry. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, second World Cup qualifier. Oh, and it says second. Oh, yeah, World Cup qualifier it was. Nick, what did you make of the decision to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's part and parcel. I think when everyone was saying about, speaking up about FIFA or UEFA saying people couldn't go and, in terms of they were going to start getting involved, I think it's, I mean, it's, do we see them both playing anytime soon? Probably not, unless there's an injury. And, like we said about when we were talking about it last week, Lo Celso, out of both of them, one of them that we would have probably missed would be Romero, because he had that stonking game on the Thursday night. But Lo Celso I thought was rubbish. So I don't think it's going to make a difference. I just hope that either no one gets it, or they get injured, or because then that then throws a spanner in the works. But
could be the opportunity that Brian Hill needs to get a chance in the team, couldn't it? With Celso now missing. If you remember, that's how Aaron Lennon, wasn't it? He was brought in for the future, and then Wayne Routledge broke his foot, and Aaron Lennon came in and never looked back, did he? So it'd be a good opportunity for Brian Hill to come in now.
Yeah,
I did think that the guys drinking out of the cups.
That's where I got this one from.
Yeah.
I did think that, to be fair, at the time.
Yeah. You imagine if Jack Grealish gets in £100 million and he's going to miss a game for trying to wind up the crowd. Yeah, Declan Rice as well. Yeah.
Chances are, if they're hurling abuse at people, they're probably pissing those glasses as well before they throw them.
They used to do that when in festivals. They used to throw
over the top, didn't they?
Pints of piss, didn't they, at the artist? This American band came over once to Reading in the tent, and I remember they threw it, and this guy grabbed it and downed it, and we were like, mate, that's probably piss. It's probably piss. Mind you, you'd have a job to tell the difference. Yeah, you'd have the job to tell the difference at some of the festivals, some of the piss that they serve. Good point here from Alan. I reckon Lo Celso has a twin. The good one.
Dele Alli's brother.
Yeah, Dele Alli's brother.
Yeah,
Michael Chip was breaking his absence.
Yeah, steady on. If he's joining that podcast in about 6 hours, he's going
he started early. He'll be starting on your beard again, Cody. Jesus. Any other visual clues? Go out his hat or his glasses this weekend. That's what we're after.
On that note, I just need to go and grab another beer. I'll be back in a sec.
Good lad.
What do we make of? So UEFA have already clamped down on Hungary for their racist chanting and whatnot. They've got to play some of the Euro games. They had to play them behind closed doors, and because this was a FIFA tournament, Jens, they can block the fans last night, and they were expecting it. You noticed when they took the knee before the game, all their fans are booing and hissing and stuff, and so they were kind of expecting it. But they got to throw the book at them. It was a stupid fine. Last time FIFA dealt with something like this, they fined who's that idiot that's played for Arsenal, Lord Bentner. They fined him more for wearing a pair of comedy pants than they fined.
Wasn't it Paddy Power or something?
Yeah, Paddy Power. Yeah. I didn't want to give him any free advertising on this channel.
Nicholas Bentner. Yeah.
Barry,
listen, it's just indicative of where the priorities in football are. Barry from Easton.
Unbelievable.
We get the glam. We get the glam of the American shows, and you get EastEnders. Fucking hell, Nick.
I'm not having that. Unbelievable. That is fucking outrageous.
Barry.
I'm going to look at Aaron for his bloody comments. Unbelievable.
Speaking of the guys drinking pint glasses that were thrown at them, Nick, do you want to take this next talking point? Because you were having a moan about this on the way from the game.
God. Yeah, so I don't know whether it was because they couldn't get them up the 4,000 steps to mount, at the top of the stadium. But by half time, there was no pies. They'd run out of beer. It was very, when we came out at half time, it was like there was about 4 sausage. There was no sausage rolls left. Absolute pie gate. Aaron is fine. Don't worry.
He's over it.
I'm over it. But no, I wasn't over the no pies and the no sausage rolls and no beer. I said, can I have a lager? Oh, we've sold out of Amstel. Okay. Well, can I have what else have you got? I just want a beer. It doesn't matter. And he was like, oh, is that okay? The usual story. They're like looking at you with blank expressions going, what do you want? I don't know whether I'm supposed to be here to serve you or to just stand here and look stupid. And actually,
is he going to get his Tory blue badge now, Rez?
Maybe. I'm judging as we go. All right. I'll give you a reading from the right-wingometer at the end. All right.
But yeah,
as a guy I used to work with, Nick used to say, "I'm not paid enough to think or care."
Yeah.
But I don't know. LJ, did you go down and see if there was any at your end, or there was anything running out?
West Lower, they were packed. When I left just at the final whistle, and as I was going past where my block has got a counter where they're serving pies right next to the exit.
Yeah,
full, stacked completely.
So they
that's because they're not cordon bleu, Res, and most people go down for a Chardonnay and into the cheese room at half.
No, that's right. I did look at the one, and I think one of the pies was filet mignon mead, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's crap logistics. It's really shit logistics. Yeah,
it's just too far up. It was just too far up to get up there, up in the dizzy heights.
Yeah. Do you remember? Was it you, Gaz, that went to the naan and noodle bar, and they're like, "Sorry, we don't sell noodles," and we're like, "The fuck."
What's your name?
Your stall's called naan and noodle. Like, oh yeah, we don't sell
noodles.
Like,
any naan?
That was needs. Needs went up.
Yeah, it's needs, wasn't it? Yeah.
I went to McDonald's today. They'd run out of water. Not only milkshakes, orange juice, McFlurries, but they run out of water.
Peckham Spring.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like blame that on COVID as well. Go on.
Apparently it's because they got no drivers.
What, to put water in there?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Okay. Weird.
Wow.
Right.
Weird.
Unreal.
Next,
the kids, like, what are we going to drink?
After Barry's had his rant, we can move swiftly on. Hugo, has anyone watched that little video he put out? They went through his shirts over the years from when he joined and stuff. It's quite a cool little video. So we want to pay tribute to Hugo. 10 years and 300 appearances now. When people mention Hugo to you, what do you think? What are your fondest memories, and how will you remember him in your ranks of all-time Spurs keepers? Let's start with Jens. We've not heard from you for a while. Over there in where's the Shield based? Chicago?
Chicago, I think.
Baltimore, isn't it?
No, that was The Wire.
Oh no, that's The Wire, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll Google it while we.
Go on, then, Dickless, whatever your name is.
Right, I'm fucking off now. That's out of order. But don't tell the missus.
That's what Sue told me to call you.
I think, to be honest, I think that my overriding memory of Hugo was that he never used to be able to save penalties, and then he saved that one against City, and then he saved like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think he's apart from the faux pas with the red wine. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. He's probably my second favourite goalkeeper at Tottenham. I think my favourite would have to be Paul Robinson.
Robbo,
just because he was, just because he was, our resurgence back with Martin Jol. He was a big part of that. I mean, again, he couldn't really stop shots from distance, but he was a great keeper. But yeah, Hugo, I'm very happy we've kept him for so long, considering he's one of the, I'd say, top 5 goalkeepers in the world.
My brother said if he could kick, we'd have lost him a long time ago. It was kind of in that era where the sweeper keepers, even funnily enough, he was brought in as a touted sweeper keeper, wasn't he? But they've moved on a level, haven't they? The Allisons and people like that. I think we'd have lost him a few years ago, wouldn't we, if he could kick properly.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was in that European game when he did that save when he was like spinning around and he like managed to flip it over the top of his body and put his hand on the line. I'll always remember that save. Probably the best save I've seen in the Tottenham game, to be fair. I mean, he's pulled us so many good saves, and his highlights package must be brilliant. Just some of the saves he's made, his shot stopping that he's made.
Hugo's brilliant. A lot of time.
Yeah, his reflexes are brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, from goalkeepers that I personally sort of watched during my time, because obviously you guys know I've not watched huge amounts. He tops the list for me. I didn't see the likes of Torsved play, directly, or even going further back, Pat Jennings and people like that. Obviously, I'm aware of them, but the ones that I've witnessed myself, he probably tops it. My favourite memory of him actually isn't a goalkeeping one. It's after the Zagreb game when he called out the wastrels in our squad. That was him showing proper, real captain quality. And he spoke the truth. And for that's the memory that will live on in my mind from Hugo Lloris.
Little mention to Neil Sullivan as well. I always used to like Neil Sullivan. He was a good keeper, wasn't he?
I have to say I disagree with Alan there. I think the worst keeper I've seen at Spurs was Bobby Mims.
Yeah. Booby Mims.
God, Bennett, he was terrible. He came with big reputation from Blackburn. Was it Blackburn? And wow, he was awful.
I'm sure there's been some even crapper ones. I was going to say one there, but it's the answer to one of the answers in the quiz later, so I'm not going to say it. Jennings, no gloves, hands the size of shovels. My uncle says he was the best. Kev,
I've shaken hands with him, and he has got massive hands.
Same here. I got a picture stood next to him. I thought the bloke was massive. Yeah, I'm at least, I'd say, 10 centimetres taller than him.
Really?
But those hands. Yeah, those hands.
I think that just means that you're more massive than him. He is massive.
Well,
compared to the likes of me, he is massive.
You're not exactly short, are you, Jens? To be fair.
Yeah, I suppose not.
There's got to be some awful goalkeepers. I liked Kelsey Keller. He was good.
He was all right.
He had some good goalies, haven't he? Brad Friedel. I mean, when Hugo came, Brad Friedel had just kept a couple of clean sheets, didn't he? And we were like, what's he dropped him for? You can't just,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it counts, but who was that Hungarian one? I think he was Hungarian.
Yeah.
Who screwed us over by
Philip.
That's it. Martin.
God rest his soul. He's dead now.
He's dead now, isn't he?
Passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
He wasn't terrible.
See you, Cody.
See you, Cody. Take care, mate. I can't think of crap goalkeepers other than Ian Walker. He's the only one that comes to mind. I mean, I'd never seen as I'd absolutely no knowledge of Bobby Sims, either first hand or second hand. That's the thing. So to say he's awful,
probably won't find the highlights reel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If he's that bad, you wouldn't never know, would you?
Do you remember Torsved's debut?
Yeah, for his
fumbled that against Nottingham Forest. I just thought, oh god, here we go
again. Yeah.
But it turned out to be a great keeper.
Eric
Viking.
He had big hands as well, didn't he?
I've got to say, Hugo Lloris deserves a massive pat on the back for the amount of years of service for this club. Like you hear players going, I want to go and win trophies, this, that, and the other. He sits off in the background, just gets on with it. Fair play to him.
I think he must really like it.
Was good I think he does. But also, you can see the passion when the Amazon documentary come on, like you say, about having a go at Sonny and stuff. You see a different side to him because you don't necessarily see that so much on the pitch because obviously you can't hear him. But
when the started playing behind the empty stadiums, you could hear Hugo, couldn't you, on the Sky?
You notice it.
Everyone was really surprised by how loud he was. I think Alistair Gold said that it's one of the things you notice without the crowd in there.
Yeah. The vocal ones.
Doesn't Torsved do a lot of TV? I guess it's the Norwegian TV. Yeah.
He does.
There's a video of him where his wife turned up half naked in the background while he was being interviewed.
Well, Torsved. Just the way to Google that.
I'll Google it.
I heard some story that he was being interviewed, and I think I watched the interview before I found out about this, and then couldn't find it again to go and verify for myself. But apparently, he did an interview, and like halfway through, in the background, far background, a woman turns up walking around the conservatory or whatever it is he's in, stark bollock naked.
Player.
Nice one. I'm going to have to find a copy of that. Get the old pause button ready.
Just for reference purposes, of course.
You have to get your shield out and polish that one.
Well, no, I'm dickless, aren't I? So,
I remember playing cricket once and having to try and jump over a fence to find a cricket ball at our home ground, I might add, and seeing a naked lady doing the washing up.
Awesome.
What was that? Amersham?
Yeah, Amersham Hill.
Amersham Hill.
What about Gaz? What about the guy that always was naked with starting a bonfire?
Oh, the naked gardener.
I'm sorry, but if there's situations to
it
be
wasn't
naked
him, by
when
the
you're
way.
starting a bonfire, it's probably way all down the list, isn't it? Well, there's little fire bit balls spitting out at you all the time. Jesus, that's gonna hurt.
That's a brave man. That's a very brave man.
But he was found dead at his bonfire. He died by his bonfire.
Seriously?
Oh, really? I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
In his bonfire or by his bonfire?
No, by his bonfire. So it was like it was kind of every time we had something going on at the club, 5 minutes in, bonfire goes up, and you had to go over there, and you're like, and you didn't know what you were going to see, and it was a bit like, hello. Do you mind putting that out, mate, and putting some clothes on? This kid's running around here.
Smokey and the Bandit.
By the way,
maybe because we were talking about tours, vet, maybe he was going for a Viking burial.
or maybe he died of exposure.
Oh, very good. He's here all week.
I'm here all week. So the next talking point is the transfer window summary. So all told, these are the guys we brought in. Emerson Royale with cheese, Papa Mate Sarr, Christian Romero, Brian Gil, and Pierluigi Golini. Let's take them as an isolated bunch. Don't worry about the people that we've lost, but one by one, are they good signings, and will they bring something positive to the first team? Nick, do you want to start?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you take the last three, obviously we've seen them play already. Obviously, we're not going to get to see Papa Sarr and until next season, so that's one for the future. Jens on Colin Streamlight, good show. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Aaron. Even though you did call me Barry from EastEnders.
You mean he noticed that you looked like EastEnders? That's the way you should have worded that.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember. Yeah, I think I got more hair than him anyway. So, and I think what I like about Emerson is the passion and the fact that, obviously he got given Cheese Barry. I like, the passion when you hear him speak, but also the fact that he had the option and he chose Spurs over Arsenal. But yeah, so I think for a good window, it needed to be done. We just need to see how it's gonna, push some others into gear, knowing that I think we've already seen that. Dyer and Sanchez have got to look over their shoulders. Obviously, Brian Hill came on and played well on that Thursday game, and Golini as well. I think Golini he looks big when he's in that goal. When you compare sort of Hugo to him, he's got that big stature in goal, and apart from a couple of he was a bit overawed by the occasion on that Thursday game that he started. I think he's going to be quite good. So yeah, I think it's a good start. And obviously, I think we've invested well, but we need to, we just need to see what it does to the rest of the team. And like you said, we're still missing that's someone that's going to create that spark, that bit of magic. But you never know. Like you said, LJ, with now with Lo Celso obviously gone, it gives Hill the chance to, maybe have his opportunity and see what he can do. So,
Rez,
yeah, those 5 signings I think are all positive. Emerson Royale, supposedly a proper attacking fullback, so that's good. Sarr is very highly rated. Obviously, we're not going to see him this year, but everyone's excited about him, so that's a good signing. Romero has already shown that he's a good defender, so that's good. Hill has already cut his teeth in the Premiership, albeit substitute appearance on Sunday. So that's good. You know, he's someone who can get the fans off their seats, and he can be. Hopefully, he's the creative spark because, as I said at the top of the show, we do need it. So maybe Nuno wants creativity to come from the flanks rather than from the middle. That would be great if he can do that. And yeah, Galini, I agree. He looks assured. You know, when we had Hart, he didn't look assured. He might have shouted a lot, but there was still that
Empty
about
vessels make the loudest
Yeah.
noise.
I think Galini made a couple of errors
He did.
against Paco, which I
Yeah.
thought, what the hell are you doing? And that was with his. That wasn't
absolutely.
shots. That was just sort of
Just
dribbling
clearing the
or
thing.
not picking up
Yeah.
the ball.
I agree. That was the
Sorry,
thing,
carry
but no, you're absolutely right, Jens. You're spot on with that. There were a couple of things that, at the time when he did it, I thought to myself, "Oh God, have we got another Gomez?" Because Gomez, you remember he was such an amazing shot stopper, but every so often it was almost like the brain departed and said, "I'm going on holiday for a bit," you know. And he would do something monumentally stupid. So I'm hoping that that's just youth when it comes to Galini, and obviously he's got Hugo to learn from as well. But he does look confident, you know, and he looked confident in pre-season as well. So, yeah, you know, I think that's good. So 5, I've got no complaints about those 5 signings.
Yeah. Jens.
I have to say I don't know an awful lot about this Emerson Royale guy. So yeah, I'll have to pass on judging that. But apparently he's highly rated. I've heard a lot about Papa Sarr, and I'm a little bit. Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have got into the first team if he had come to us, but I'm a little bit disappointed that he didn't come and then maybe train with the first team. But it'll be exciting for next season. That'll be good. Romero, I think, is going to be quality. Same with Gil. Galini, how old is he?
26.
He's 26. Okay. Yeah. And he played for Villa before, didn't he? So that's why he speaks such good English. I like his attitude. He's always smiling and he seems very positive. And I think he can control his area well, but he will.
Put it out. Well, I missed that.
Off you, Pop.
Change all the names.
I missed that. I was looking for a comment.
But, anyway, I need to go and find a bandage. But no, I think Galini's going to be good. I will withhold judgment to see if he's going to be as good as Hugo. But I
think big shoes to fill. Big
gloves to fill. Absolutely, yeah. I think Hugo's been a once in a lifetime keeper. Well, I suppose Ray Clements when I was very young. But Hugo's just been immense. So overall, 6 out of 10.
Yes, I've got that as one of my points actually. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Nick and Walter, if you want to give us Barry and Walter, if you want to give us your marks out of 10 before we get to Gaz. Baz, big boy Baz.
Come on, Barry.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about me. Sorry. I was thinking, who's Baz?
Wakey.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Marks out of 10.
I'll be with Jens 6 out of 10. So,
Walt, big Walt.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. Yeah.
Gaz, if you can do your summary and then give us your marks out of 10.
Yeah. I think with the Emerson Royale, I don't know how true this is, but apparently Barcelona originally put a €300 million clause on his contract, but obviously in their sticky situation, we've done well to get him cheap. And also, I saw something on Twitter that we'll be playing 3-5-2 with Reguilon and Royal playing as wing back. So it could be interesting.
Alan makes that point.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
yeah, there you go. With Kane and Son playing up front.
Romero, Dyer. You got
Romero,
options there. You got
Sanchez,
Tanganga on the right.
Yeah.
Ben Davies on the left if you wanted to. You got options either side. Rodon still to come back in. Dyer, Sanchez. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It could be quite interesting. Romero looks decent. I like the way Galini seems to have fitted in really well straight away. Gil looks very good, and Papa Sarr played last night with Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Did all right from what I hear against Tonga. So
He looks a player, that boy.
Pretty decent. Yeah. I think has he only had one season? Am I right in saying he's only had one season in top flight football?
He's only 18, yeah. So he's, he reminds
he
me
does need a bit more experience.
Kante, but he had a bit more batting on the ball. He was all energy, all over the place. So he was.
Apparently, there's a lot of clubs that do rate him, but until he actually comes over and gets involved.
I'll tell you, he reminded me of Michael Essien, the way he plays. That was his kind of style. He did look very much Michael Essien style, yeah. So
it says a lot.
Defensive,
if Mets didn't want to or wanted him back for another year, obviously it's Mets and it's Ligue 1, but if a top flight club wants him on loan for a year before losing him, that suggests that he's quite important for them. So he'll be 19 next season when he comes to us, and probably ready to start taking the step up to the elite. You know?
Yeah, he looks a good player. Gaz, marks out of 10 then.
Well, originally I said the other day about 5.5 out of 10 on the group, but I would raise that to 6 because we kept Kane. So yeah, I'd say 6 out of 10.
And Son, the new
we
contract with Son as well.
Yeah. We ticked a few boxes. Didn't quite tick all the boxes, but it's a new era potentially. So
let's talk about those boxes. Let's talk about those boxes now. What areas did you think we didn't tick, Gaz?
Replacing Ericsson, still haven't done it, and getting another striker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because if we lose Kane or Son, or God forbid both, it's a lot to put on Dane Scarlett's shoulders. So,
yeah, I think they must think they've got enough in those creative areas with Dele, Hill, and Ndombele, Lo Celso. That's all I can think. And obviously they consider Sonny to be a striker. There was talk of when Nuno came in that he wanted to make Sonny more of a striker than by playing two up front.
Two up front.
So
which I'm not against.
No.
Well, the whole Traore discussion was about if they couldn't get a striker, they would want Traore on the wide forward and Sonny in the middle, up top. So yeah,
I guess that's why Hill's coming as well. If we do play Sonny in the middle, we've got another left-sided player with Session, Yon, and Hill, haven't we? Really good young players.
Is there any reason why Hill can't play that Ericsson role potentially?
I think he can. Yeah,
I think he could.
He looked like he had a right quick brain, didn't he? His footballing. He was playing early, great little touches and creative.
Be interesting to see.
Be good.
Sorry. Be interesting to see what his long passing's like. Because Ericsson reminded me sometimes a little bit of Hoddle, that he could just clip those balls,
pass
30 yards, 40 yards. I haven't seen that of him yet, but
we don't need him with the way Sanchez has been picking those long balls, Jens. In the early games, he's been hitting some corkers, hasn't he? And Romero hit that obviously past the Kane in the.
Been at the Alderweireld school of diving balls.
Well, I think Nuno's encouraging it, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Any takers on backup striker and a creative midfielder? Obviously,
you know what? As I said last week, when it comes to a striker, you can't have someone who's, a top class one. If you're looking at backup for Kane, if you're looking for a second striker, you take your pick. There's hundreds out there.
Llorente's still a free agent.
I was going to say. I was just about to say that.
Yeah. But if you're looking
for
backup,
for him just to get him back in the squad.
Yeah.
Someone
If
was
you're looking
mentioning.
for backup, listen. Everton picked up Solomon Rondon from China. On the
Yeah, but he'll be on big wages though, won't he?
Yeah, maybe not ridiculous wages.
Go on, Jens.
But even then, if you want to
got a
back
name?
up for like one season,
Someone mentioned, you might laugh at this, but someone mentioned Kiefer Moore, the guy from
Wolves
Cardiff.
are looking at him. Wolves were
And
looking at him.
he's I think he's maybe late 20s, early 30s, but he is a target man. He knows where the goal is. I think he would shake a few Premiership defences up. You put him on the last 10 minutes. I think he'd be happy to come to a Premiership club. I don't think he'd be that expensive.
Can we still buy Championship players? Is it still open?
so.
Because I remember
I'm not sure about that.
last year we got Joe Roden, didn't we? After the transfer window had closed, I don't know if he still can or not. Because did Mitrovic go anywhere? Because he'd have been a good buy.
He would have. Mitrovic wouldn't have been bad. Yeah. I mean, Mitrovic, Rondon. I mean, we didn't get Ings, obviously, and Ings would have been the wrong choice for a backup striker. He would have been perfect as the second striker.
Yeah.
Armstrong, the guy who replaced Ings at Southampton, I think he would have been a very, very good signing. He was at Newcastle as a kid. He's been banging them in League One and the Championship, and Southampton taking a punt on him. I think he was 10, 15 million, something like that. He's already scored a couple of goals, so yeah.
But I mean, it's difficult. I mean, that second striker again, and names keep coming to me. Ivan Toney from Brentford could have been a good second striker.
Yeah,
Ollie Watkins could have been a good second striker.
I think he'd expect to be first striker though, Tony, the season he had last season. Yeah,
but if you're playing two up front, he would he'd be the first pick. I'm not saying backup. If you're looking for second striker, Toney or Watkins as a second striker, not as a backup. As a backup, you either need a shit hot youngster who's going to develop over time, or an old journeyman who can do a job while Kane's injured.
Yep.
Basically, or he needs rest. That's what you bring.
Like we have Vinicius.
Smacks with Llorente, doesn't it? I don't know how old he is now. Is he 36 now?
35?
Something like that. 36. Yeah. I don't know.
There must be some free agents out there who aren't.
He'll get you out of jail for a season.
Yeah, it was like when we re-signed Vorm in goal last season. We needed another third goalie, so we signed Vorm. Go and do something like that. Find someone.
Drove him into retirement, didn't we?
He's actually on television quite a lot in the Netherlands.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think I've ever heard him. The little that I can understand, I never heard him say a bad word against Spurs. They're always trying to dig.
But he got a free watch, didn't he, out of it? He got the same watch that Toby got.
Jan
got, so that takes us on to, speaking of departing players, that brings us on to the players that we saw move out of the club in this transfer window. Nick, what did you make of the business we did moving players out of the club?
Yeah, just missing one name on that list. Two. Yeah, two. But I think I guess in transfer windows gone by, we wouldn't have come to an agreement in the Aurier sense where we would have, come to a mutual agreement to terminate his contract. So that was pleasing that we've actually taken that decision. The others. You've seen obviously Foyth has done quite well at Villarreal. But I guess the same with Jan. They've gone in a bit. It's a different way of football, but I think it's good, and I think it's in terms of if we were marking out of 10, I'd probably say 7/8. But obviously, there's still more that we probably need to, or two more that we need to. Get rid of.
Ideally, we come up with 10 names, didn't we? But it was always going to be an ask to move 10 players on in one window. Yeah. I mean, Paratici has had a criticism in the past about not being able to move players on, but he seems to have done a good job so far, hasn't he? Like £40 million in last year's off wage packet. I know one of the viewers said earlier that it's not actually a saving because we're not paying it, but it's 40 million off the potential wage.
And it's fresh. It's fresh blood. You know, players who will come in with a positive attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different mindset. Yeah.
Who are you saddest to see go out of those players?
Lamela,
Toby.
Toby. Toby, and for just because of everything that he's done. But I think that Lamela, for his shithousery that he creates when he's on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So those two really are the ones that the rest of them. Obviously we've touched on it over the last few weeks and spoken about it. It's not I'm not going to miss any of them really.
Toby's probably the only one that can control the football, though, isn't he? Out of that lot, it pings off of them like a bar of ice or bar of soap, doesn't it? The rest of them.
I'm going to miss CCV because he sounds like a car.
Citroen.
He's the right car, that lad.
To be fair, Lamela's had a decent start to his life in Spain, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
2 goals in his debut. Another goal a week after.
3-3 or something.
He scored with his right foot, didn't he? As well. The keeper parried it out, and he
followed
it. Yeah.
I didn't think that was humanly. I don't think it was humanly possible.
Yeah, keeper parried it out, and he was there like Johnny on the spot to knock it in with his right foot.
Brilliant.
They don't know. They didn't realise how rare a sighting it was when they saw him score with his right foot. Yeah, he's doing well. I've been meaning to watch
scoring my right foot, LJ.
Yeah, cutting inside top bins with that right foot. Jens, any what's your take on the outgoings?
I was a little bit disappointed. I think I was disappointed that Lamela left. Obviously, I think Toby, his time was coming to an end, but I thought Foyth had something to offer. Whether it be I think probably at right back, centre back, we saw how many he made a lot of mistakes, gave away a lot of free kicks and a few penalties. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that, but it's really water off a duck's back. So I go for probably 7 as well, same as Nick. Yeah. Barry, sorry.
On the Foyth point, this is something. He was just rash. He was rash, Foyth, but he was a good defender. Other than that rashness, what I don't understand is why no one seemed willing to coach that out of him. Because then you've got a defender there that, Poch was, but Jose certainly wasn't, and Nuno seemingly, or did we get rid of Foyth?
No, we got rid of him before that.
All right.
It was taken out of our hands. It's part of the loan deal. Apparently, they had the option, and they took up the option, so it wasn't even.
Of course, yeah.
It was cheap as well, wasn't it? 14 million or something.
Yeah, but wasn't he the most money we got in for out of those players? It was the biggest amount we got in.
Yeah.
Lamela, depending on how much you value Lamela at.
Yeah, because he was part of the deal, wasn't he?
Money on. There's a lot of money on top
25,
of as well.
25 on top of Lamela for Hill.
Yeah, so it shows how well Hill's rated, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe they rated Lamela at 100 mil, then. Paying back some of that money.
So, Gaz, if we could have got rid of one more player, who would your money have been on? In an ideal world, maybe Winksy. Nick,
I don't know.
One more player. Winks, yeah.
So you confused him, called him Nick. Barry.
Sorry, you confused me now. I know.
Actually, thinking about it, we've got Baz, Gaz, Rez, and Yaz.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that? Yaz song?
Man, isn't it?
The only way is up.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Big boy batter now. Oh my god. Daniel K. Lewis.
I thought he was away with the ferries for a bit.
Yeah, he was up to
you can see the cogs turning while we were all chatting.
Yeah.
24/7, mate. I'm aware of the ferries.
I think obviously, I think with Gaz, Winks, because there's no there's no one that you could you weren't going to get anyone to pay any money from Ndombele. So Winks would have been another one.
So the BTs, the Azabazas.
I'll play an instrument because I can't sing.
I think Winks he survived because he's a homegrown player. And that's the only way he survived.
And also, I think he survived, but also no one really came in with an offer other than Everton. I think it was only Everton actually tabled something for him, and so
he was linked to like Newcastle fella and Everton, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's not. Listen, if he's staying for now,
support him. Yeah,
it won't be. It won't be. 100%. Of course, no, absolutely. If he's on the pitch, he gets my support. But I don't see him. I don't see him being at Spurs for much longer, really.
Well, maybe another year. Unfollowing Spurs on Instagram and Twitter and everything. When someone checked his account and he's unfollowed them all, so we thought he was off for those reasons. But
listen, if he's not playing, if he's not going to be played, or he's being given second string competitions to play in, I think the penny will drop eventually
as well. I'm too good for this.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that are too good for this,
hey,
time for the Jens quiz.
Sorry, my name's Dickless. I don't know what you're talking about.
Go on, Dickless.
Seattle. Dickless in Seattle. Gaza Rez ably stepped in for you last week to be the scorekeeper, but he cheated. I think Jens bribed him with some Danish bacon.
Yes.
And he started cheating, so he gave him 12 out of 10.
Yeah,
12 out of 10.
Let me check my sheet again. Hold on. Yeah, 12.
I got 6 out of 10, didn't I?
So it's a big.
Shall I restore the order then?
Yeah, restore the order.
You got to take points off. He's got -4.
No notes, please, Jens. Are you wearing your lucky hat or not? Your bucket hat or
not? I'll just go get it.
Yeah.
And his notes.
Yeah. We're just going to have a quick look at the notes that he's left in the toilet.
Yeah, he's hidden them in the toilet.
If he turned his camera around, he's got a big whiteboard of all his notes on it.
No, he's hidden them in the toilet, even though none of us are in his house.
Yeah, you turn your camera around so we can see the massive whiteboard behind you.
He hasn't got his earphones in, he can't hear us.
Oh, yeah, hang on. Jens, can you turn
Hi, my name's Dickless. Danny Dickless.
Can you turn your camera around so we can see your whiteboard notes behind your screen?
It's Sue's with an iPad, the answers for.
It conveniently.
Convenient.
Yeah, all right. I tried to show you.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah. I can't see you.
Can't see you, though.
Oh, look.
He's going to be doing that all the time.
Yeah.
You need to tidy up, mate.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's what Saturdays are for. Come on.
Behind it's like the Wizard of Oz, isn't it? Behind the curtain. What really goes on behind the scenes? Right.
More like through the keyhole.
Send to yourself. Are you ready? Are you ready, Jens? So this week's quiz is, I was going to say it's the big quiz, isn't it usually, but it's the little quiz this week because it's on Jose Dominguez.
Legend.
Question 1. Jose is deemed to be one of the shortest footballers in the Premier League era, but how tall was he?
165 centimeters.
What's that in feet?
Yeah, what's
feet
that
in inches?
Oh, that's is that 5'4"?
That's what I was going to say.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Oh,
but he was 165. So.
Do you want to put it through the Nick or Rez? Do you want to just quickly put his centimeters through the conversion table and
fucking imperial figures? Jesus Christ!
Just see if.
No wonder you left Europe.
So what did you say? 165.
165.
5'4". Yeah. If 165 is 5'4".
I've got 13 foot 9 inches. I think I did it wrong.
Yeah.
Are we letting them have the point for that? Technically, it's wrong, isn't it?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Yeah. It's actually
I'm used to losing with you lot.
It's 5 foot 4.9, so it's closer to 5. So I don't know how Gaz wants to score that, but
you got to give him that then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I think you need to give it to him.
Scorekeeper.
Points given.
Yeah, spoken.
Round it up.
Gatekeeper.
You always round it up.
Daniel Day-Lewis has spoken. Yeah, always round up. Jens, question 2. Which Portuguese city was Jose born in?
Lisbon.
Yeah.
Correct.
Toit.
Question 3.
Dupois.
With which club did Jose make his professional debut?
I think it was Sport.
No.
I'm going to say Porto.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Birmingham.
Oh, he did. Sorry, I thought
He didn't play. He didn't make a single appearance for Sporting Lisbon, and then he went into 2 non-league clubs before he went on trial at Birmingham City, and he played his first professional game at Birmingham City.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trick question.
Jose Brumai.
Jose Brumai.
Hello. My name's Jose Dominguez.
Hello, my name's Daddy Dickless.
Question 4. Which club did Tottenham buy Jose from?
Sporting Lisbon.
Gaza, why are you doing a whole Hitler sign?
I'm not doing the points.
Sporting Lisbon.
I'm doing the points.
Have you become Hungarian overnight?
I can move the things
Sorry,
out the way
Jens?
and just...
Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon.
Nice.
Correct.
Full
Question
points so
5.
far.
How much did Spurs pay for his services?
1.6 million.
It's the hat. It's definitely the hat.
Yeah.
It's the notes.
Go on,
It's
earpiece.
the earpiece, because I've got him on the phone. It's like, oh, gracias. He's Portuguese, not Spanish.
Question 6. Which Tottenham manager signed Jose?
Jerry Francis.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's incorrect. It's actually Jerry the Mullet Francis. Which is locked. Question 7. How many Portugal caps did Jose win whilst at Tottenham?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's a tricky one.
That's a bit of a naughty question, if you ask me.
Yeah, I like it.
None.
Has he got his notes on his ceiling?
Yeah.
Keeps looking up.
None.
Oh,
there it goes again. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with this camera, sorry.
You put your
got
finger
motion
over
sickness.
the end, mate.
Yeah.
Look. If I do that as well, look, my camera goes.
Oh, he's gone completely.
Oh, he's gone. He's thrown a straw.
Device is not connected.
He's on 6 out of 7 so far.
Is he?
He's doing well.
Which one did he get
Doing
wrong?
well.
Oh,
Nothing. He hasn't answered this one yet.
No, his professional debut, wasn't it?
Birmingham City.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Rez, where are the police this week? Come on.
God knows.
Right.
God alone knows.
Sorry, fellas, I unplugged the wrong thing. Every time I touch this camera, it switches off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many Portugal caps did Jose Dominguez win whilst at Tottenham?
None.
Correct answer. His 3
effort.
Portugal caps were earned when he was at Sporting Lisbon prior to signing for Spurs. You know, Sporting Lisbon signed him to replace Luis Figo.
Seriously?
Yeah. When Luis Figo went to Real or Barcelona, he was the player they brought in to replace him. The tricky winger. Jesus. Question 8. After leaving Spurs, Jose went on to play in 3 other countries before his retirement at age just 31. You get a point for each country you can name.
I've only got 3 fingers left, gents. So
Germany.
Correct.
Play or manage?
Play.
Okay. Portugal. And Spain.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That's a bit funny.
Brazil.
I knew he went to Kaiserslautern. I didn't know about the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Wikipedia is fucking shit.
It is when you're scanning it while you're trying to answer questions. Yeah, I agree.
And
How
cameras
many has he got so far, I guess?
No.
He's
It's
on
one of
8.
those
8.
Right. Jose, question 9. Jose was one of a trio of diminutive wingers signed by Jerry Francis.
Jerry France. Yeah.
Can you name the two other Diddy Men wingers recruited at that time?
Raw Fox.
Yep.
And Andy Sinton.
Box in the box. Idiot. Was that a point for each?
Yes, go on. Points coming out of his arse, isn't he? Last question. This is a good one, if I do say so myself. This one wasn't taken from the internet, so Jens, you could struggle. Question 10. Jose has a League Cup winners medal with Spurs being an unused sub during our League Cup win in 1999. Can you name any of the other 4 subs that day? You get a point for each.
Doherty. Probably wrong.
Ginger Pele.
Alan Nielsen was a sub, wasn't he?
No, he scored.
Yeah, but he was a sub,
I
wasn't
thought
he?
he was a sub, wasn't he?
Didn't he come on as a
Yeah,
sub?
but he said unused subs. Unused subs.
Oh.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
No, but he said, can you name any
5 subs in total.
Were they unused or were they all unused?
No,
Only one of them came on.
Okay. I haven't got a Scooby, mate. No, sorry.
Do you want to throw open to the panel there? Any suggestions? I've got
Stephanie
4 fingers here. Nope.
No,
He started.
So it must have been Alan Nielsen. It wouldn't start with Everson. Oh no, Nielsen would have been in the middle, wouldn't he?
Midfielder.
Yeah.
Casey Keller.
I was going to say, it's got to be a keeper. I was trying to think of a keeper.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Anyone watching want to have a guess?
Sullivan would have been in goal. So who was the backup? Oh no, Ian Walker was in goal for that match, wasn't he? So who was the backup?
Barnson?
Justin Edinburgh was sent off. That wasn't him.
Ben Bardson won.
Ah, that's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Bardson,
Nick's cheating. He's obviously Googled it.
Yeah.
What was the? Was it Leonardson as well?
Leonardson. Yeah.
No.
Oh, what's his name? Of course, Corsten or whatever his name was.
Willem Corsten.
Willem Corsten. No.
Nico Clarkson. Ricky
Stephen
Clements.
Galvin.
Ricky Villa.
Don't forget Clive and Paul Allen too. Richard Goff and Chrissy Gordon, Gary Mabber, England.
Clive Wilson.
Danny, all the girls are gonna be for you.
No, Clive Wilson.
Clive Wilson was a bit earlier than that, wasn't it?
Was he? Oh, okay.
Did you give up, boys?
Yeah.
Anthony Gardner.
Yeah, Tony Gardner. Yeah.
Oh, good shout.
No.
Espen Bardson, Luke Young, Andy Sinton, aforementioned, and Chris Armstrong.
Nice.
I couldn't talking to quizzes. I couldn't believe it. I was watching one of the streams last night with Brian Daigle, and you know that he knows everything about Spurs.
Rain man, yeah.
Yeah, one of the questions was who scored the goal in the 1967 FA Cup for Spurs, and I was like, "Fuck me!" Kev told me that the other day. It was Robinson and Saul, and he came up with I think it was Les Allen and Terry Dyson, and I was like, oh, "God, I wish I'd been on there. That would have been brilliant."
Yeah.
you actually got it right. Yeah.
Funny story about Luke Young. Well, not funny, but amusing. When he went to Charlton, the Charlton back four, once he arrived, was the four across the back were Young, Fish, Costa, Fortune.
Impressive. Bonus point for all of you if you can guess out of those four who actually came on. There's only one player that came off the bench In the 89th or 89th minute.
Luke
Luke Young.
No, it wasn't.
Andy Sinton.
Armstrong.
Andy Sinton, yeah. Andy Sinton came on in like the last minute, I think. Who came off? I did look it up, but yeah.
I
Andy
was
Sinton.
well pissed by then.
Andy Sinton
So was
came on. I think it might have been Ginola. Yeah, Andy Sinton came on for Ginola. So yes, how many did you get, Gaz?
10.
10 out of
a possible 18,
30.
I think it
a
was.
lot. Yeah.
18, really? God. That was
Yeah,
rubbish.
well, it was 4
Jens.
points on one question, another 4 points on another, and 2
Oh, of
points
course,
on
at the
another.
end, yeah.
10 out of 90.
That was terrible, mate. It was terrible. Disappointed in you.
He's too far away from him, and Jens is up here and Jose's down here, so
Yeah, can't see him.
yeah.
You can just see
Exactly. My head's in the clouds most of the
Yeah.
time anyway. So
His feet are in the shit. Right, so before we go, we're playing Palace on Saturday morning, aren't we? 12:30 kick-off. I think it's 12:30. It is, because I've been trying to get it off work all day, and my boss said I can have a 2-hour lunch hour to watch it, so get the fuck in there. Let's go around the panel then. Nick, score predictions for the Palace game.
Well, the last 3 games have been 1-0.
You took my glory.
And we never, in the last few games we played at Palace, it's always been the odd goal that we've won by. So I'm going to say 1-0.
Who's scoring?
And I'm going to say Kane's going to score because he likes scoring against Palace. So 1-0 Kane.
Although Kane is due to play on Thursday night for England, and we've been put on Saturday morning again, stiffed by Sky or BT, whoever's putting us on. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
you're playing on Thursday, next Thursday.
England are playing
England.
Thursday, and then we've got to play
3
Saturday
games.
morning.
Okay.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
So
Thursday, Sunday, Thursday.
So will Kane be
crazy.
able to? Yeah, we'll like. Rez, did you get it right last week? Incidentally, I think you went 2-0, didn't you?
No, I went 2-1. I think. Was it 2-1? Anyway, yeah, I said we'd score 2 and we didn't. I'm going to go 4-2 to Spurs. That's what I reckon.
Who's scoring?
It'll be weird, I reckon. It's going to be a really weird game where it's just going to be
crystal
chaos.
meth, like Walter.
Yeah, sort of. I think it will be the football equivalent of being on crystal meth. Not that I've got any experience of that.
But your sister's watching still, say it now.
Yeah, and my mum potentially. So what's it called? I don't know. I think it's going to be. I reckon it's going to be a really chaotic game. I think that the reasons I think that is that Palace, Vieira just doesn't know what he's doing. They've just brought a new striker, and we've had 3 really sort of steady performances, and we're due a bit of a mad one, I think. And I think it's going to be the Palace game, and it's going to be insane. So I'm going to say 4-2 to Spurs.
Who's next? Who wants to take it next? Coming around in order there. Gaz?
Well, Nick took the glory of a 1-0, so I'm going to say 1-0, and it will be a Sanchez header.
Sanchez?
And I'm going to give you a minute, 83rd minute.
He's due.
Equaliser.
Yeah, he's due.
Yeah, he's got some goals in him, hasn't he? Jens?
Well, seeing as I'm dickless, I'm going 0-0.
0-0?
0-0.
Blimey.
I can't remember the last time we played well at Palace. Seriously. I can remember us beating them 1-0 when Bobby Soldier scored, and I thought, yeah, he was going to be brilliant. Sean Williamson. Oh, thank you. I think it'll be. Yeah, I reckon it'll be our first lost points of the season.
Did you get it right last week? Incidentally,
no, I said 3-1 Spurs, but I also said that Perryman was going to score. So
we need a quiz for Jens for next week. Any suggestions, boys? Choose a letter. Choose a letter.
Choose a letter. Said.
Yeah.
Said.
Bobby Zamora.
No, it's Zakora.
EDA Zakora.
Zamora or Zakora? What do you reckon?
Zakora.
Didier Zakora quiz next week, Jens.
Start boning up Ridiculous.
Hit his Wikipedia page. Oh dear. I think Palace is it was a tight game, wasn't it? 2-1, Son and Kane. Boom, 2-1. That's it. Yep. That brings us to an end tonight. So thanks for your good-humoured taking of your lookalikes to Barry, to Walter, to Daniel Davis, and to Nicholas in Seattle down there. Thank you very much for your time this evening, gentlemen, and like and subscribe to all the people that are watching it on live or on rerun and whatnot. And yeah, we'll see you next week. What is it? There's no game. Is there a European game on Thursday?
You just said there was an England game.
No, England game.
No. Next Thursday. I mean.
Oh, the week after.
Yeah.
Yes,
possibly,
against Rennes.
Yeah.
It's the Rennes game.
Oh,
Rennes,
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess we'll be on Fridays again, won't we? So next Friday, and then that looks like we're on Friday again. The next 2 Fridays. See you next Friday. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Go on,
Big
you
boy
Spurs.
Barry. Big boy Barry. Big
And
boy
also,
Barry.
LJ, if you
Yes.
ever want to if you want to lift again, you can think again.
On that night, I'm off.
You're
the
walking
grovel.
now, pal.
Yeah. On
See
your
you,
bike.
people. Yeah, on your bike. See you, people. Bye-bye.
See you
Cheers,
later.
take care.
Bye-bye.
Cheers,
Good night.
fellas.